Hi guys, I'm back again for part 3 of my family and life update video. So yeah, I basically have been talking about what Leah's gone through over the past year and then some of the fun things the other kids have been doing. But yeah, everybody's doing great, everybody's growing well, and just they're generally all happy, and it's really fun to see all the little fun things they do. How much smarter they get every day. It's been hard on me sometimes. It was a lot easier being a stay-at-home mom when it first started, even though I had to deal with the feeling of feeling like I wasn't contributing to the family financially. So that was always, I felt kind of like a burden. When you're a stay-at-home mom, though, you have to remind yourself constantly, though, that how much you actually really are helping. And I tend to forget that. Like, I do so much around this house. I'm up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I get the kids up out of bed. I get them changed. I get them dressed. And then I have to change their bedding, wash that, and then go down and immediately start breakfast, and then clean up after everybody from breakfast, get dishes done. And then I'm changing everybody, maybe giving baths. They're watching cartoons or playing with toys. And I'm just cleaning and cleaning and cleaning, and I do a load of laundry, maybe 2 each day. I know these are things that moms do even if they do work and stuff, but it's like when you're a stay-at-home mom, though, you get a lot of the idea from people that you just sit around and do nothing. But I am on my feet all day long, and I get to sit down maybe 20 minutes every maybe 4 hours. So I am to the point where my back and my feet are killing me every day because I'm just standing, and I have to stand in one spot for a long time too, like if I'm doing laundry or if I'm doing dishes, so that starts to hurt my back a lot. So it's not like I'm not doing anything at all. I'm working, and there's a difference between just being a stay-at-home mom and also being a homemaker. So I'm both of those. So I care for my kids, and I also do everything around the house. And I don't ask my husband to help too much. There are some days where I just can't get caught up, and I do ask for his help maybe once or twice a month. He does the yard work, the backyard work, and he takes out the trash for the most part. But that's really all I ask him to do. Like, it's gone down to the point where I don't even ask him to clean the bathrooms hardly anymore. Like, he's on toilet duty whenever I'm pregnant, so the fact that I had been pregnant 3 times in a row, I got so used to him being on toilet duty. But now I'm gonna, like, you know what, I can do it, it's fine. But yeah, so I'm at that point where it's been 2 years, over 2 years, and I just feel like for a while there I was fine and I was happy and enjoying it, but now it's like I kind of feel like even more low, like I don't get enough time with adults, and I know I can do that, but I choose to generally just get stuff done around the house instead. And then I put everybody before myself pretty much, and it gets to the point where I start getting very emotional and stressed out, and like I feel like I definitely need a job outside of work. But we actually found out just recently that if I got a job, I want to work where my husband works, which generally they hire almost anyone. But the problem is that they do cover up to 60% of your daycare, but our daycare alone would be maybe $2,000 to $2,200 a month. So after that, after they pay their portion, we'd still be paying maybe $1,000 a month, and that's for all 3 of my kids being in daycare right now. And then my husband has student loans, so they would want possibly up to, I think it was $700 a month. So I make maybe $300 a month going to work. So it's absolutely kind of pointless for me to go right now. It's kind of like, okay, I can make that $300 a month, but then I'm not with my kids like ever. So, and they need their mom, you know, any kid really needs to be with their mom or their dad to really learn a lot, but they also do kind of need a daycare setting in their life sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. There's pros and cons to it for everyone. So, and everybody has their different opinions about it. I just feel like my kids, right now they do better with being around at least one of us. So, especially Leah with her medical problems. So, yeah, I started babysitting just recently. I've been actually trying to babysit since we moved out here, but I would, like, you know, those Facebook groups and stuff, like yard sale sites, people would be talking about how they needed a babysitter, and I would volunteer. And then I had 7 people within that first year of living down here. They would say, oh yeah, we want you to watch our kids. And I met with 2 of them, and then 5 of them, they either just ignored me or didn't get back to me or never even responded or anything. So I started feeling like moms out here are kind of flaky when it comes to it. And not to be biased or anything, but I really feel like I'm a pretty good babysitter for the most part. And our home wasn't really that exciting back then. Like, we didn't have a lot of furniture when we moved down here. But now that the toy room's all done, and it seriously looks like a little daycare up there. So minus the crafting tables, stuff like that, but I do have crafts and stuff. I have all of that in our shelves or in a bucket in our pantry, because Ava is constantly getting into things. She is my curious child. Oliver doesn't do that. Ava is, oh goodness, from the time she could climb, maybe a year and a half old, she's just gotten into everything. So we have child protective locks on almost everything in our home, because she just does not. And I had to put them on the fridge, and someone had commented on how that could be considered child abuse if CPS were to come over. But the way I saw it was that she was getting in the fridge and she was cracking eggs everywhere. It was nasty, you know, just things that were making my kids sick. Or she'd get in there and eat things that she shouldn't be eating, or get in there and get vitamins out. It's the fact that she gets into the fridge and she gets the whole package out, and she runs and hides and eats all of it. Like, she got in there and we had 2 bags of gummy Lifesavers. She got in there and she got both of those bags and she ate all of them. She doesn't understand moderation. So I'm like, you know what? I have to feed my child anyway. So if I'm going to put a safety belt lock on it, on the refrigerator, I don't feel like that's considered child abuse. I'm protecting her from, first off, I don't know, you know, eating the vitamins or eating too much candy or eating something she shouldn't be, or just the fact that she was even just touching the temperature dial in there and messing with that. So then she's wasting $50 to $100 in groceries. So yeah, but yeah, she gets into everything. And so I have the crafts put away, and so yeah, my house is pretty much like a daycare now. And with this babysitting that I'm doing now, she had contacted me a couple times and said she needed me. And she's a single mom, so I volunteered to only charge her $20 a day. You know, it's like if I'm watching 2 kids with my kids, it's kind of like I'm just still doing the same thing, just a couple extra diaper changes here and there, and just feeding a couple more mouths. But she brings their food for them, so it's not like I'm having to feed them their food. I just have to clean up their messes. So I was like, you know what? It helps us out being paid that $20 a day just for doing what I've already been doing anyway for the past 2 years. So, but since I started watching them, I've only watched them 3 days so far over the past week, but I have felt so much better. Like, I get up immediately and I'm getting everything cleaned up. I'm getting dressed. Like, before I was staying in my PJs all day long, or just basketball shorts or something. So, you know, I'm getting dressed in street clothes. My kids are all dressed every day. You know, they kind of, first off, they started thinking that we were going out because we would only really get dressed if we were going out. So they were kind of confused. But now they're getting the hang of it. And so yeah, I feel a little more motivated every day. I feel like I have a little more purpose in life besides just being a mom. So it makes me feel a lot better. Even if it is, like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, she's just using you. That's only $20 a day. And it's like, you know what? So what? So what? It helps me out. It helps her out. I'm happy. I get to talk to her for like 30 minutes to an hour every day because we have so much in common. So it's just, you know, it's nice having someone that I can talk to besides my husband on a daily basis. So that's really nice and enjoyable. So yeah, and then as far as my husband's work goes, he is actually, he's doing really well at work. He's been in the top 10 in his department, which is about 70 other employees, for I think a year now. And he's been doing really well to the point where they gave him extra on his raise this year. So that's been fun. But the only problem is that they changed the way that, like if you've worked in sales before, you understand that sometimes they do like a bonus metrics and how much you have to make and stuff in a certain amount of time to bonus. They changed that and they upped the amount that you have to make. And so before he was making like $1,000 bonus checks once a month for, I think that started back from November to June. And now they just changed it where they're only going to give you one bonus per month. You get it the middle of the month, and you're lucky if you get a bonus check. So this month he was lucky and did get a $400 bonus check, but that's because it was still based off of last month before the whole system restarted. It started on the 1st of July. So we're really anxious to see what it's going to be like in the middle of August. Right now he has no clue what his bonus check is supposed to be or if he has one. Whereas he's always known. He's always been able to look up and say, this is what I'm expecting for my bonus. And now he doesn't have a clue how to do that. So that's kind of cutting us a little short now. But with me babysitting and stuff, we're doing pretty well. And as long as I can continue doing so. She plans to move about 30 minutes away from us. But she said that she likes me enough that she'll probably still be bringing them here. Her son doesn't cry when she's leaving, which she said that a lot of places he has done that. So I'm watching her 4-year-old son and her 10-month-old son. So Ava and Oliver love playing with the 4-year-old, and then Leah loves to play with the 10-month-old, and everybody just has a blast all day long. So it's really nice. But it also gets them used to playing with other kids and stuff and getting more used to being like in a school and daycare setting for when they do start school. Ava's going to start next August when she's 5.5. Oliver does not start until 2000 and, oh gosh, I don't think he starts till 2019. He will be almost 6 by the time he starts. So he's got a long time. And then Leah will start in, I think, 2020, 2021. But yeah, as soon as Leah is in school, I do plan on going to work. So that's 4 years from now. So yeah, I'm really anxious. I know it's a long time from now. I just have to, you know, it's only 48 months if you think about it, because yeah, and that makes it kind of seem a little bit faster. So. But we have to get through the next 48 months, just one step at a time. I know that we're going to struggle. We do at least every other year. So we were back in 2014. Last year was a great year. This year has been a little bit harder. So yeah, and it probably will be next year too, with the fact that we're planning on moving, with the housing out there being more expensive. But yeah, and I know everybody's going to be like, oh, why are you doing this when you're struggling? We are trying to conceive baby number 4. I know that's TMI for most people, but my channel has been a TTC channel since pretty much the beginning. So yes, we are TTCing number 4. We did say that we wanted to stop at number 3, but we really, really, really want another boy. We want Oliver to have a brother. We know that the likelihood of it is, you know, 50-50. So our chances are most likely going to be that we'll end up with another girl. But we'd be able to at least be able to say, hey, we tried. We wanted to help you have a brother, but it just didn't happen. Which is fine. You know, my husband was the only boy and had 3 sisters. So it'll be fine if he doesn't have any brothers. But we want to at least try. So we're working on that, but I feel like my system is a little off right now. So I've been kind of having 6-week-long cycles, and so things have been a little confusing on that. I did have a rough month last month because I was on a 6-week cycle, and I took one of the new, like, I do not like the new first response curve tests because the first time I used one of those, you see the glare on it, so it's really hard to see. And then the second time, I thought I was seeing a line, but it's just the indent line. Then the third time came around, I didn't want to order these tests. I wanted to order the old ones. I ordered them from Amazon, and of course Amazon, the company, sent me the new ones instead of what was pictured on there as the old test. And so I was like, well, I'll just return them. But then I just kind of felt like maybe I was pregnant, so I went ahead and took one. And I thought I could see a line on there. So the next morning I took one, and sure enough, there was a very faint pink line. The dye bled through the test line, which was very upsetting. I didn't, like, all day long I thought I was pregnant. I called and I set up my first appointment, and I was just very excited. And then the next day I took another test. You couldn't see anything on this third test, nothing at all, not even an indent line. So I had actually found out that those pregnancy tests, the first response ones, can actually pick up anywhere from like 1 to 2 milliliters of HCG. And so that means, like, even if you have like a cyst or something, it could possibly show up as a positive or a faint positive. And so sure enough, that probably was what was going on, because I took an ovulation test the next morning and it was super positive. So this was my 4th week into my cycle, so I should have been on my period. So that's why I tested, but instead I was ovulating. So 2 weeks later, of course, I ended up getting my period instead of a positive pregnancy test, but that's okay. We're on, I don't know what cycle of trying now, but I am currently on, I think 12 days on my cycle, so I'm just waiting for O-Day to get here, and we'll see on that. But yeah, we're definitely trying, and this will be our last. We are aware that this baby will be in daycare when I start work, which will only be for like a year or 2 if we do successfully conceive. But if we don't, I'm okay with it. I still kind of feel like we're not fully complete, because I do want another boy. But I mean, our kids are wonderful and sweet as they can be, and the world's biggest blessing for us. But you know, when you know you're not done, you know. So it is weird, because my body is like freaking out that there isn't a baby in there anymore, or right now, because I've been pregnant. You know, I got pregnant the first time, miscarried, and then was pregnant again 5 months later. Then I was pregnant when Ava was 8 months old. I was pregnant when Oliver was 11 months old. And now Leah is almost 14 months old, and I'm not pregnant. And my body is just like, where's the baby? So that's been, yeah, it's been rough on that. And I got really emotional in the fact that I'm not getting pregnant, because I'm kind of really nervous that my polycystic ovarian syndrome is causing a lot of problems again. But I was very, very fortunate to have, you know, those 4 years of not needing help with anything, or not needing help with conception or any medication at all. So what a huge blessing that was. And so now it's kind of like, you know, if I do have to start having to take metformin again, or eat healthier, change my diet, then that's just the way it's going to be. So I was very lucky for those 4 years. So but yeah, that's really it. I know that all probably sounds really jammed into 2 or 3 long videos, and probably you guys probably have a lot of it going right over your head, kind of confusing. But yeah. Oh, and one other thing is that we do have a van now. We did just have our 5-passenger car that we've had for 7 years now. However, the air conditioner doesn't work in the back. It only blows from the front. So living in, you know, 112-degree weather during the summer, our kids weren't getting air conditioning back there. And also the fact that we couldn't have any more kids if we didn't have a van. My husband's stepdad just recently passed away back in March, the end of March, and it was very unexpected. He was only 58 years old. So it was, yeah. it was also really upsetting because